I know that Adam hid from God after he bit, right? But he did something else when he bit. He took on the projection of that nakedness is bad, that nakedness is weak. And that projection did not come from God. That projection came from his woman, Eve. Because after Eve bit, she realized she was deceived by the snake. And she was only able to see she was deceived by the snake because she bit from the fruit, knowing good and evil. So she knew that from the snake's perspective, she was being deceived. Okay. Because this snake wanted to deceive her, but she forgot her perspective, which was she bit to show the snake that she will surely not die. And any Christian faith, Judeo-Christian faith, believe in the resurrection and the redemption, which means that we will have a renewed body when this current body dies. And that is the confirmation of Eve's faith when she bit from the fruit, when the statement was posed to her, for when you bite, you will surely not die. Okay, so anyway, going back to when Eve fell, she fell, but what she really fell for was the faith in the shadow rather than the faith in the spirit. Okay, so she dismissed her own faith that she will surely not die, and then put all her faith in, like, oh my God, the snake deceived me and was successful in deceiving me because look, I bit from the fruit now. Again, she forgot she bit in faith. Now she focused her faith in the shadow statement, that the snake deceived her, which, in the snake's perspective, that's exactly the shadow, the temptation to have them fall with him, with the serpent. Let's see what else. Okay, so when it was time for Adam to choose to bite or not bite, he chose to bite, but he chose to bite because he had compassion for his woman. He didn't want her to die alone. So he decided to die with her. And that's compassion. Again, that's his goodness in the biting. But after he bit, he also saw the shadow. She did not want to die alone. And so she offered him the apple. Again, it's the same action. Yin and yang is all there, but it's what he wants to focus on. He decided that after he bit, he saw the shadow that she didn't want to die alone. But what's more, he also saw the projection, um, the projection that she had of him. Like, the reason why she wanted him to bite was so also he could see the snake's deception. She wanted him to see what she saw, which is the shadow. And the shadow, without seeing it, she felt like they're weak as compared to the serpent. So in a way, seeing the shadow is a good thing. Like, she wanted her man to see what she was able to see, because it's a type of power as well. And but what also he was able to see intuitively was the fear-based projection of Adam as someone weaker than the snake. Weaker. So she saw that weakness, that nakedness, that goodness without the knowing of the badness as a bad thing. And so one of the things that Adam took on from Eve was the belief, and again, this is a false belief, but it's a belief nonetheless, that nakedness is bad. Like that kind of full transparency, that that naive, innocent honesty is a bad thing because it doesn't take into account the shadow, right? And of course, that kind of naked honesty could be easily, quote, deceived. Um, and so when Adam bit, he not only discovered her fear of dying alone, which he was gladly, not gladly, but like he consciously decided to suffer with her. That was his choice. Again, he forgot about that. Or he didn't give himself enough credit for that, just like she didn't give herself enough credit for why she bit initially. So now that the shadow is present and the conscious awareness of the shadow is present, he was now ashamed of his own nakedness. He was ashamed because he believed now that his nakedness is bad. And so he hid from God. Why did he hide from God? Because he secretly blamed God for making him naked and calling it good. When now he has this second option to judge that nakedness is bad, which he took on from Eve's projection of him, right? So he secretly blames God for making him naked and good when there was a second option that nakedness is actually bad. And so he hid from God. And this is a positional displacement. And that's why God, when he was looking for Adam, meaning he already knew where Adam was because God is God, God is all knowing. But when God asked Adam, where are you? What God is really gauging is Adam's perception of his relationship with God. Let me say that again. When God asked Adam, where are you? God is gauging Adam's perception of his relationship with God. Okay. A good analogy would be like you're in a relationship with your partner and it's 3 years into the relationship and you give them a call and like, what are we doing for anniversary? You know, like you're gauging what is this partner's, does he or she still feel close to me? You're gauging that person's perspective of the relationship. So God is gauging Adam's perspective of Adam and God's relationship. And obviously it's distant now because Adam is hiding from God. Adam is like kind of withdrawing himself from God's presence. And again, this is our universal curse. And why is that? Because there's a lot of people that have withdrawn themselves from the spiritual realm, from faith. Why? Because there's so many things there's so many shadows that the person's aware of. Like, this is messed up, that's messed up, this shouldn't be happening, but it's happening. Why? Why is God allowing this to happen? Why were we created to experience this pain? This is going to create a level of mistrust, blame, distance from the spiritual realm because the shadow affects us all. And some of the shadows are lies, are projections, are curses. And we bought into it and we started believing in that. And that the more we focus on the curse, the less we're able to want to be closer to God, because the shadow could be very consuming of our time, energy, and attention, that we forget that there's also good available and present and everywhere and waiting and wanting a relationship. So that's our second curse. A positional displacement curse is the position by which we are in relationship to another entity. And I believe God works through all people. So again, it could be as simple as like a positional displacement curse between you and your sister, right? Someone else that's a handiwork of God a creation of God, that we decide to withdraw from and become distant to, uh, because we're too consumed by the shadow, whether it's alchemized or noble. So that's kind of sums up timing displacement and positional displacement. Position's always about relationship, and timing is always about the conscious state of us, of where we are right now in the moment. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of that really clarifies a lot of the questions that I had about the two concepts because they sound so similar, but you know that there's got to be some kind of differentiation there. So thank you for, shedding light on all of that.